So a couple days ago, I was scrolling through Pinterest thinking of different ideas on what to build in The Sims, but also how to decorate my apartment for 2023. And I realized I came across a YouTuber named Benji Plant who makes a lot of videos centered around his plants, his home, his everything. And I think it's so nice and calm and relaxing to have that environment to like listen to or watch every other day. And since we got the Greenhouse Haven kit, I wanted to be able to build a plant lover inspired home by using that kit along with some other packs. And today is that day because I was watching Benji Plant for hours, literally 2 days ago, trying to kind of capture the vibe of a plant parent, but to an extent of a beginner plant parent as myself. Now, personally, when it comes to plants, I find it so fascinating to learn about how much lighting they need, how much water they need, and just overall like temperature, like what kind of environment do they need to be in order to thrive. And for me, I have two golden pothos plants right now, but I've also recently acquired a money tree, which I know does not give you money IRL. I wish it did though. I know in The Sims you have a money tree, it gives you money, but IRL, not so much. A boy can dream, but a boy can also, get back to reality. But however, when it comes to plants, it's so fascinating because plants are like giving you like the energy that you need wherever you are at in the world, wherever you are like putting your plants, it kind of brightens up and makes your, home a little bit more alive, I guess. Because technically plants are living human creatures and they breathe, they need water, they need sunlight, they need, warmth or cold, depending on what kind of plant they are. So essentially, plants are like humans where they need literally anything and everything in order to survive, which is kind of funny. So I consider myself a plant parent. I'm taking care of children, literally children, right now, my 5 plants that I currently have. Because I have two golden pothos plants that have expanded to like 5 or 6 golden pothos plants. I have the rest at my parents' house because I don't have enough space in my apartment to take care of them all. Plus, they have a lot more, lighting sources in their area rather than me having like one sliding glass window that barely gets enough sun. So my parents have all my plants mostly, which is great. So I can like tend to my children afterwards. But I really want to be able to create a home based around the Greenhouse Haven kit and also just like my love of plants and be inspired by Benji Plant. But what's really cool about like this home is that it's kind of like my idea of like my dream greenhouse cottagecore oasis, but on a smaller scale. And I kind of want to be able to create a ultimate cottagecore home but in my style. And I know exactly what it's going to look like. I'm definitely going to use a lot of cottage living, the Greenhouse Haven kit, a lot of base game, a lot of outdoor retreat. Like plants are my thing. I may not be able to keep a plant alive IRL besides my 2 that I have and my 3rd. Some plants might be hard. I had succulents before in the past, but they have now died because I do not know how to take care of succulents at all. But I'm learning. I'm learning as I'm growing, which is great. But this home is only fit for 1 sim and it only has 1 bedroom and 1 bathroom. But the bathroom is a 3x1 bathroom. And I learned that from my friend Steph, who is Sim Archie on Twitch and YouTube. And they made a tutorial on how to make a functioning 3x1 bathroom. And it's so cool. Like you have to utilize, the Discovery University shower before it to work correctly. But with base game, it's a little bit more trickier than that, of course. But utilizing some of the packs that I currently own is kind of making this home more alive and like more my personal style. And I definitely had to use the basement clutter kit or technically the basement treasure kit, but essentially both kits to me are clutter kits in a way. That's how I see it. But I wanted to use the TV because this home is so dang small and there was no way I was going to fit a full-fledged couch and TV in this home, let alone a fireplace. So I went with the smallest TV that was the most jankiest and went with it. Because the story that I have for the Sim who lives here, and their name is Benji, by the way, who lives here, they used to live in San Myshuno and decided to get away from the whole hustle and bustle city life and wanted to downsize their home to live in a nice, calming, cozy environment that they could live in forever and maybe expand to their house a little bit further if they so please. Now, Benji is a sim that likes to be able to try new things that they haven't tried before. They are a beginner plant parent, but they also have an experience of plants because of their parents who used to like really dive deep into the whole gardening and florist era. And their parents are actually still alive in San Myshuno and they own a local florist shop, which is very cool. And they found like their new love of plants because of their parents. So I want to be able to have Benji kind of do their own adventure and kind of experience life on their own to see how far it will take them to take care of certain type of plants, how to grow them, how to maintain them, and especially hopefully one day open up their own plant shop. And I hope to one day eventually we get more gardening type things, because gardening in the Sims 4 and base game isn't all it's exciting. Like, of course you can like get the planter pots and the planter boxes, but they're not essentially the end all be all type of thing that really gets me excited to garden. So utilizing more gardening capabilities would be so perfect. I know like there's a gardening career, but I like the idea of my Sims working for themselves and being able to maintain their own career, how they see fit, how long they want to do it. And Benji is going to thrive. I just know it. And he's going to actually be a Sim that I'm going to play around with my Sim Aspen O'Connor. And if you haven't seen my current house video that I made a couple weeks ago about Aspen, I literally am making a gardening club for her. So I'm making houses and Sims so she can make friends in that gardening club. I don't know what it is, but for the past like couple of like months now, I've been really diving deep back into The Sims 4 and trying to play it as it is without trying to record it or constantly stream it, and just have a personal gameplay save file for myself that I enjoy with no one else's opinion. And it's been quite relaxing and enjoyable. So I'm literally making all these houses and all these Sims for my Sim Aspen for my own personal gameplay, which is crazy, but like I think it helps me kind of get back into the groove of things again and try new things that I probably would have never done before if I streamed it or recorded it. Because it can only do so much if you record it, and can only do so much if you stream it, you know? But nonetheless, these plants are my thing. None of the objects are actually functional in the Greenhouse Haven kit, but the objects are very cool and very versatile with the like the types of like windows and like the screen doors and the screen windows. Like I love those screen windows and doors. Like I definitely know I'm gonna remodel some of my Sims houses so they have like a little, you know, side piece of their home of being a sunroom. And I know exactly who is going to have a sunroom in their home. It might be the pancakes, but it also might be Aspen. I've been thinking about remodeling that little vacation home that she bought previously in a past video, just so I can try new things technically. Now, personally, when it comes to landscaping, if you don't know my builds, I will spend literally to the ends of the earth to just like decorate the outside out the wazoo. Like I love using debug. Debug is the best thing ever. It can be very intimidating at times, but I think it helps to make your builds come more alive, I guess, and it looks more interesting that way. So I would say if you have not used debug, use it to your advantage. Every pack has debug. The more packs you have, the more debug items you can use to make your house look a little bit more exciting, I guess. But nonetheless, I definitely want to take this journey of mine and watch more of Benji Plant on YouTube, and also learn from my friends, because my friend Lilith Fox on Twitch, they have so many plants in their background of their streams, and it's so calming and so cozy, and I just love their vibes. But also Julian from like, you know, Jenna and Julian, I love Julian, and he also has a lot of plants as well and takes care of them very well. So like I'm going to learn from other like YouTubers and content creators to understand how to be a plant parent and accumulate even more and still keep them all alive for the long haul, because bestie, I'm going to be a plant when I grow up. Like that's what I want to be. I want to be a full grown plant, green and all. That's all I gotta say. But either way, I want to be able to take you all on a journey to do a real-time tour of this house, because I want to show you the whole home and just kind of talk about more about the build, why I made this home for a single sim who is a beginner plant parent and wanting to thrive in the plant community. But nonetheless, I am thoroughly excited about more plants. I hope we get more plants in the future in The Sims 4, where we can really thrive and be that plant, you know, enthusiast that we are always longing for. But until then, we shall wait. But either way, let's go ahead and hop into the real-time tour of this lovely plant lover home. So I have to say, with this house, I had a lot more fun than I thought I did, just because I was trying to think of a beginner plant parent who was also obsessed with plants, but trying to keep it very minimal with the landscaping, since it is on a 20 by 15 lot. I didn't want to go too crazy. So in a sense, it's like 10-15% of my obsession. There might be more percentage, increasing in the future, but right now we go minimal. And in my terms of minimal, it's like that's minimal. So I went with like, some simple landscaping in the front, no landscaping in the back actually. I have a little bird bath, a grill, some blackberries, potatoes, and also some trash bins just to have in the front. I was gonna add in the eco lifestyle composting bin, but I felt like it wasn't ready for that, like the home yet. I think when I play with Benji over time, I might change it out in the future, but right now I want to use like the trash bins until we change our idea. But then I also think that since we don't have cars and Benji loves, the environment and helping the environment, being sustainable as possible, I wanted to add in a bicycle because it seemed very fitting that way. Now in the backyard, I only added it in a bird feeder and then also a picnic table because I didn't know what else to put back here since it is a smaller home and there wasn't really a lot of space to add in like a proper backyard. I felt like this back here just seemed perfectly okay. So as for the interior, I wanted to go with something more minimal and not overly cluttered because one, low on space, we were on a budget in my mind, but also I didn't want to go too crazy with the clutter, especially with a beginner plant parent and understanding how to take care of plants better. But I also wanted to try and use the new basement treasure kit and the greenhouse haven kit, along with like some other packs as well that had plants in them that looked good enough for the home. So I really went ham, but with minimal ham, if that makes sense. But I really love this kitchen more than anything. It's from Cottage Living. I love this stove. I love this range hood. I love that fridge. It just speaks to me on a personal level. And to one day, I would love to have a kitchen like this, but on the mid-century modern style, if that makes sense. Now, for this home being the way it is, we have our kitchen, dining room, our study, and our living room area all wrapped into one because there was no way in chance I was gonna add in a full-size couch, a full-size TV in this small little home. And I could have used like tiny living, of course, but I felt like this home was too big to be a tiny home per se. So I kind of opened it up a little bit, larger. But over here, I do have all of our little plants and knickknacks that I think are just so nice. Uncle Bob's dusty rubber plants. Interesting. Okay, that's not bad. So for the bedroom, I didn't really know what I wanted to do per se, but I knew that Benji is still in the mindset of the city, but he knew he moved from the city to the suburbs, so I wanted to kind of merge the two things together. So I added in like a brick wall with a torn up brick wall decal on the floor. We also have like our old standing mirror, our shelves, and also our old bed. But I wanted to utilize the new, like the bunk beds and also the dresser drawer with our old little like knickknacks and paddywhacks, like boxes and planter boxes and old video games that we had in our previous apartment to kind of still capture that city vibe that we're looking for, but in the suburbs, if that makes sense. But it doesn't make any sense, but I feel like it makes sense to me. Now, this bathroom is definitely very, very teeny tiny. It's fully functional. We have a shower tub. Now for this bathroom, it is very teeny tiny, but trust me, it works. We have the shower here. We have the toilet here. We also have the sink on this side. It's fully functional. I play tested it. It works perfectly fine with no issues. Your Sims can still use the shower and toilet perfectly fine with no problem. Now in this room, I had a lot more fun than I thought I did just because plants are my thing, but I didn't really know how I wanted to stylize this room. I knew having the sunroof would be perfect, but then also having all this lighting on the plants is super important for the plants to like breathe and get that sun and like just really feel that heat that they're longing for. But like what's really cool about having like their own dedicated sunroom, gardening room is that all the plants will stay in season if they're covered. So you can plant literally anything and everything in here and be perfectly fine. Now, I wanted to add in the gardener stand and also this table to kind of put more clutter on here to see what I could do to capture that plant parent vibe, but also figure out a way how I wanted to tie in with more upgrades. Because I think eventually what I'm going to do is remodel this room for my own personal like gameplay and add in like a flower arranging table and like switch it out with like this planter box and like see what I can do. But honestly, I like the room. I like the vibe of the 3 planter boxes with all the stuff over here. I could have added in like a little stereo for like some music, but I felt Benji would just wear his, earbuds and like listen to music that way. So keeping it very small, minimal, less cluttered, but with the cluttered purpose, that it makes sense. So nonetheless, in all, the house itself is perfect the way it is. And I think I did a pretty good dang amazing job on this house. But either way, as always, do let me know down in the comments below of what you thought of today's build, and especially let me know what kind of plant do you own if you own one. But nonetheless, I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!